everybody? It's the Bearded One back with another beer review, and we are doing Old Cuss tonight. Picked up a growler. I did my duty today. Picked up a growler from Hometown Heroes, Cross-Eyed Owl. There's the label. This is one of the two growlers I own. So I know this is common knowledge, common sense. If you have ever bought a growler, don't make the mistake and throw it away. Keep it, reuse it, saves you money. I don't want to insult your intelligence by saying that, but if you never thought about that, please save your growlers. Old Cuss is an English strong ale, if I read the description right. I really liked the marketing behind it on Untappd. Whoever wrote out the description for that beer for Cross-Eyed Owl, they said this beer doesn't have time for your dandy-wandy beer descriptions. It's beer, it's dark and amber, it's beer, drink it. Something like that. I'm paraphrasing, but I thought that was pretty cool. It's, if you can't have a laugh and joke about what you do for a hobby or a living sometimes, and let your hair down, what's life, So here's how it's pouring out. No head on that thing whatsoever. I'm gonna have to get a new top. Looks like there's some mold on there. Before we get into the beer review, I want to say, if you don't know about this product already, there's a great product out there called Wine Preserver. It's in a purple and gold aerosol can. I don't have any. I thought I did. I used to have a can around here. It's great for when you're drinking alcohol, beer from a growler or a keg. Maybe not a keg, but a growler for sure, or even a bomber if you're gonna just open a bomber and then consider recapping it, or your whiskey or your liquor or even wine. It's called Wine Preserver. Again, it looks like air duster, but it comes in a golden purple aerosol can, and you attach this clear plastic nozzle to it, and you stick it down in there, and you do a few squirts of it into your, after you've poured some into a glass, obviously. But if you're going to put it back if you're going to put your beverage back in the fridge, you would spray some of that in there and then cap it real quick. And what it's supposed to do, I believe it's nitrogen. It has all the nitrogen that came out of the can. It seeps onto the surface of the alcohol, and then I don't know if it's oxygen or carbon dioxide, but the stuff in the airspace that was there prior to the nitrogen entering the environment rises to the top. It gets off your alcohol, and now it's not age proof. Everything is still going to age and degrade, and the wine preserver isn't going to last forever. But for an extended period of time, it can keep your alcohol fresh longer. I've heard the rule on these growlers is once you pop the top, you'll want to drink your growler and finish it off within 2 to 3 days. I think wine holds up for about a week, and then you need to be drinking it fast after a week. After you've cracked the top. Whiskey's subjective. I know a lot of people think liquor and whiskey can hold up forever. I still put Wine Preserver in my whiskey when I'm drinking it. So yeah, there's that diatribe. Just look it up, Google it. Wine Preserver. It's a nifty product. It'll extend the life of your beer for sure. No head. This thing dissipated. It looked almost acidic. It looked like acid just kind of washing off the beer. There's a little volatility. I can see things rising to the surface. There's not a lot of action going on. I mean, there's the occasional bubble rising, briding, but that's about it. I can see through it, so it is somewhat clear. It has somewhat clarity. It looks like tea. It's a very, very, very dark amber color, almost brown. It highlights to like a sweet tea-ish color at the bottom. There's legs on it for sure. Again, no head, so there's not going to be any lacing. I'm not privy to a lot of native English styles. I've never had an English strong ale, so, and I know Trey and Cross-Eyed Owl like to brew to style, which is cool to me. I'm a traditionalist. I'm a purist. You know, I can enjoy my trim tab crazy IPAs as well, but I really do like traditional purist style beers. So this thing was aged in barrels, and I'm smelling that barrel for sure. I want to say it's some sort of whiskey barrel. Yeah, very woody, smoky. It may not be whiskey, but I'm leaning towards whiskey being the liquor that was in the barrels prior to Old Cuss being in. Very caramel. Strong notes of caramel. This reminds me of an old ale. In fact, I think this is an old ale, if they told me over the phone. Not a lot of hop presence. Yeah, get some smoke. Almost smells like there's an ingredient that was burnt. Like a, I don't want to say burnt sugar. I've never smelled burnt sugar, but I feel like that's what I'm supposed to be saying here. I feel like that's what I'm smelling. I get a little breadiness from the malt. Really a sweet beer on the aroma. I want to say I get a touch of fruit, but I'm not sure if that's just my brain trying to trigger fruit. I want to say I get some phenolic aroma in here, either some kind of banana or clove, I think. Yeah, anyways, that's what I'm getting on the nose. I don't think I'm picking up much else. Let's dive into this baby. I'm excited. This thing is powerful. Boozy. Boozy, baby. You can taste that booze. Now, it doesn't particularly burn going down. There's no warming in my chest or whatever. I can taste that alcohol. This definitely tastes like a 10% ABV beer. A lot of wood, a lot of smoke in here as well. Definitely the barrel comes out. One more time, I just want to be able to articulate. I know I say that a lot in these reviews. A lot of caramel. Caramel comes in behind that boozy whiskey flavor. And it seems like there's some stone fruits in here, possibly like I'm getting like a raisiny dates thing going on here. Some real dark dried fruits. Yeah, just a really good. If this is an old ale, I know on Untappd they said an English strong dark ale. But I think the guy at the brewery told me it was an old ale. I'm sure it's the same thing. I'm just being really technical here. But It does. I am reminded of all the other old ales I've had. Unobtainium from Straight to Ale. I want to say that Embrace the Funk beer I had was like a soured wild yeast strain old ale from Yazoo. And then I had Old Stock Ale, the 2019 vintage of Old Stock Ale. And this kind of, it is different. It does have the XCO. What would be a good word to put in here? Has the XCO love in here, I guess. It does taste different from all of those. Yeah, I don't think I'm not sure what the phenolic thing, maybe it's on the back end. I get a really sweet, drying finish on the back end. It's hard for me to tell, is that like a caramel, fruity sweetness, or is that like, is it kind of leaning towards clove and banana? I can't quite make it out because it's very subtle and delicate on the back end, but it does feel like a unique flavor. I'm not quite sure. I don't know what to call it on the back end, but it does dry on the back end. Leaves you wanting to go in for, I believe I have a hair in my beer. I must put a hair in my beer somehow. But it does, I just brain farted. That totally threw me off, guys. What was I talking about? The finish here. It dries. It's not the most drying beer. You know, this isn't a Brett dried pale ale or something. Or a brooded IPA. This is, you know, it's just more of a semi-drying, but it does leave you wanting more for sure. That about wraps it up, guys. Caramel, stone fruits, little boozy, wood, smoke, all that great stuff. Maybe a tinge of vanilla from the barrel. Maybe just a subtle hint of phenols. Not quite sure if that's what I'm actually getting though. It could be just a brain trigger from just all the sweetness in here. And could be an inaccurate perception. Recommendations, I think this goes up there with any other old ale. I think it's really good. I think this is one of the better offerings from XCO. I will probably revisit Old Cuss from time to time, just depending on what else is on the menu at XCO. Or if I need I need a good night's sleep with that 10% ABV. Just a really good old ale. If you're if you like more of the caramel malt forward beers, try this out. If you're into barrel aged stuff, like I feel like Lexington Brewing Company, if you like any of their stuff, the Kentucky Bourbon Straight Ale, Vanilla Barrel Cream Ale, if you like any of that kind of stuff, give this a try. I think you'll enjoy it. If you're from North Alabama and you've had Unobtainium, if you like Unobtainium from Straight to Ale, give Old Cuss a try. Old Stock from North Coast Brewing, give this a try. Did I say if you like malt forward caramel beers, give it a try? Yeah, I don't know what else to say about this beer. It's really tasty. It's really good. I'm feeling feeling a 3.75 out of a 5. If I was going to really detail and really be precise about the rating, I would go more towards a 3.9 out of a 5. However, that's just not my system. I like to do the Untapped system. So yeah, you could say a 3.9, but just on the rules of my own custom system, 3.75 out of 5. Tasty beer. I think what's keeping it from being an A beer in that excellent category is it's just a touch too boozy, and I'd like to have the stone fruits, that raisiny date thing that dances around the caramel. I'd like to have it come up and be a little more prevalent and dance around with that caramel a little more. And then I'm not sure how accurate my perceptions are with that phenolic clove banana thing. That may not be in there, but if it is, if there's any phenols in this beer, maybe just a touch more. Just, I want to know that it's there. I don't want to second guess that maybe my brain's triggered something that's not actually in this beer. You know, maybe I'm trying to be too beer savvy. And I don't like that. I want to know that it's in the beer. I don't like second guessing myself. So yeah, that's where I'm at. Wraps this up. Go buy beer from your local brewery. I don't care where you live. It doesn't have to be Cross-Eyed Owl. It doesn't have to be from Alabama. These are weird times we're living in, guys. Don't forget that wine preserver as well. It helps your crowler, the beer in the crowlers out as well. It helps your wine, your whiskey, your liquor, all that kind of stuff out as well. Cross-Eyed Owl Brewing, Old Cuss, 3.75 out of 5. Till next time, guys. Cheers.